Hello. Did you miss me? Well, that's okay. My dogs missed me, so I'll get by. Turns out, July 19th is National Daiquiri Day. This is a day set aside by the federal government to commemorate stealing Cuba from Spain and then establishing dominance by taking one of their most prized and ancient secrets, plastering it all over the New York bar scene. That's right, the daiquiri. It was introduced to the United States Navy by Admiral Lucius H. Johnson, who recognized it for its medicinal qualities and sought to keep dreary sailors from complaining themselves into mutinous situations by making this available at every enlisted club from Singapore to Sigonella. Well, enterprising sailors then brought this delicious elixir back to the States, where they shared it maybe too much with their girlfriends. This led to the great baby boom of 1920, which, as we all know, was of the utmost importance to the future of our national security, as it was many of these daiquiri babies that halted Hitler and tackled Tojo. In essence, the daiquiri saved the world and ushered in the American century. The daiquiri was a known favorite of Ernest Hemingway, who I'm sure we all know was one of history's great tipplers. It is said that after 15 of these delicious cocktails one morning in 1942, that Hemingway was struck with a great idea to help his country in their time of crisis. So he put in a call through to FDR and said, "Mr. President, I have a yacht, and you have a U-boat problem in the Caribbean. Give me a gun to mount on my yacht, and I will go a U-boat hunting." The president thought this was a fabulous idea. He outfitted Mr. Hemingway with a couple Tommy guns, a couple boxes of hand grenades, and communications equipment. In return for his services, Mr. Hemingway was given gasoline and told that he could drive his boat drunk in any Allied territory. Incidentally, Hemingway decided that the classic daiquiri was too sweet. He invented his own. I tried it before I started filming. It tastes like kerosene that's been filtered through the back hairs of Neptune's baby. You're welcome for my service. Another famous person who loved the daiquiri was John F. Kennedy, who gained a fondness for them while he was a PT boat skipper in the South Pacific during World War II. One day in 1963, he got into a minor argument with a communist sympathizer over the origin of the daiquiri. The Pinko Patsy, some guy named Oswald, said it was made by Cubans. Kennedy argued that it was made by Americans. Well, this incensed Mr. Oswald so much that he shot the president in Dealey Plaza later that day. Oswald, in turn, was shot by Jack Ruby, who was paid by the CIA with free Bacardi for his strip club for the rest of that calendar year. Once again, the daiquiri played a historic role in the American experience. Everything I have told you here today is the absolute truth in a parallel universe somewhere, if you believe in that sort of thing. Today I will pay homage to this simple and elegant rum drink, to the Laka Laka Lounge. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 25 of Before the Mast, a show that I use as an excuse to make cocktails and tell stories. Tonight, we're making the rum classic Daiquiri. Daiquiri is very simple, and yet it's often flubbed by many mixologists. Like a whiskey sour, there are only three main components in this drink: rum, lime juice, and simple syrup. You may recognize that this is basically just grog without the water. Traditionally, light rum is used, but I'm going to throw caution to the wind and use dark rum instead. And rather than plain simple syrup, well, I'm going to get crazy and use Demerara. But in the end, this is still a daiquiri, using the basic daiquiri ingredients: rum, lime, and sugar. Let's hit up the liquor locker. For this drink, you will of course need rum. I'm using a darker rum. I'm using Bamboo, which is a Cuban rum. Pretty sure it's spiced, but it works well in this cocktail. Tried it with Myers and it was a little too heavy. Daiquiris should be a summery breeze drink. You will also need Demerara syrup and some limes, crushed ice, and a chilled coupe glass. Let's build this thing. All this storytelling's got me parched and dry like the Mojave in the middle of July. Two ounces of rum, three-quarters of an ounce of Demerara, 1 ounce of lime juice, throw some ice in there. Shake it like a crying baby. Chilled coupe glass. Garnish that with a lime wheel, and voila. Cheers. A traditional daiquiri is light and airy. It's a good summer sipper. But this is like daiquiri's angsty twin. There's bold flavors in this glass. If you prefer light and airy, then by all means make your daiquiri with light rum and regular simple syrup, like everyone else. Me, I think I'm gonna stick with the dark, like my soul. The daiquiri has been manhandled by so many bar people. You could probably find a daiquiri at any restaurant here in the United States that has no resemblance to the cocktail I have here. In New Orleans, you can stop at a drive-through daiquiri hut and get an alcoholic slushy, virtually any flavor under the sun, served in a styrofoam cup. Who am I to say those aren't daiquiris? Cheers. As you probably gathered by now, I am home from the sea. The experience of sailing in a tall ship was eye-opening. As a seasoned sailor, I knew it would be different. Brother, was it different. Comparing the world of tall ships to my own 10 years at sea is kind of like comparing Venus to Earth. Sure, they're similar. There's a lot of damn differences too. I learned a couple valuable lessons. 1, tall ship sailing is a young person's profession. 2, I'm fucking old. 3, tall ships at sea move around a lot. Not too much worse than a frigate in moderate seas. If you've been on a frigate in moderate seas, you'd be alright in a tall ship. I got to be a part of the crew, and that's as fun as it was challenging. Maybe I gave myself a hernia. Maybe not. I got to go aloft. And hernia and squash disc aside, that was fun. Let's check in for a moment with boats in the field. Mental. Going upstairs. The object is not to fall. No all the way dropping today. No dropping today. I didn't die. My mom would be proud. Send bow! Truly riveting stuff. I made a lot of new friends that I otherwise would never have made. I learned that bars in Aberdeen all close at 8 p.m. Pathetic. I learned that nobody makes a good whiskey sour within walking distance of the docks in Aberdeen, Tacoma, or Port Orchard. I learned that sailing on a tall ship will work muscles you didn't even realize existed. In fact, I'm still questioning the existence of some of the muscles I worked. But it was an amazing adventure. Now back to life as normally scheduled. Thank you all who donated to make it possible. If you haven't yet donated but you would like to, there is still time. $100 donations will receive a signed and numbered print of one of the artworks created while in residence. $300 donations will receive an original drawing. As always, the link to that GoFundMe is down in the description and also in the comments. While I am back, I do need to recoup some of the personal funds I put into this project so I can keep the bills paid and the lights on. Drawing in the dark has never been one of my strong suits. Until next time, have a delightful daiquiri day. Fair winds and following seas.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning,
Which is a Caribbean word. Sounded like feminine hygiene. Bob Saget.